This unique architecture, designed by Donal Hickey and his interior designer wife Fionnuala, is located just a few miles north of Dublin city centre in Killester. Number 1 Nuns Lane is a striking sculptural piece in a suburban terrace. Known locally as the Architect's House, it is a marriage of functionality and design extravagance.
We designed the house here. Part of the intention was to separate working from living.
So we wanted to be able to leave the house,
Really?
walk out and walk in another door.
So did you have any planning problems at all?
Believe it or not, we had no planning problems at all. We crossed all our I's and dotted all our T's or whatever, and documented it really, really well. And as a result of that, it went through the planning system really very easily.
This is a very brave piece of architecture. This is fantastic, isn't it?
It's the main room in the house, and it takes over the whole of the ground floor. It effectively means when the sun moves around the room that you get light literally every moment of the day.
It actually follows your activities around during the day. Yeah. So when you're having breakfast, the sun is shining in from the breakfast table, and then in the evening it comes through this window. Yeah. Where you're sitting around. And
that's the most relaxing, looking out to the garden in the evening time, you know? Yeah. And also looking at this fireplace.
To some respect, the fireplace is the kind of the centre, the pivotal point in the house. In metaphoric terms, holds the sky up.
It's absolutely beautiful. What is it?
It's Kilkenny limestone. Okay. And we had it quarried. We wanted the fossil effect. The idea is that it looks like smoke blowing up into the sky.
And then also what strikes me is the fact that this one very strong structural piece in the centre of one very large room, which is real old vernacular architecture, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that was obviously an idea, as well as maybe Georgian proportions of the room.
Spot on.
Because what are your friends and family and neighbours, and what do they all think of the house?
There's a mixed reaction. I think some of them love it and some of them don't understand it.
And there are people who've told us we should wallpaper the concrete.
Yeah. I think that was one thing when we were building it. I kind of worried about that this room was so big that it wouldn't feel cosy or comfortable. But the wood just, it's so warm and rich, you know, really, it brought the room in.
You're completely wrapped in timber. Even things like doors kind of hidden.
I just love the way the timber gives this wonderful contrast with the concrete, especially when you come to the kitchen. I mean, it seems to be quite small within the overall scale of things. Some people want to embrace kitchens and have them as the biggest room in the house almost, you know?
It's good for cooking. I mean, it obeys all the rules, you know. Everything is close at hand to make and prepare food. There's only kind of one way in. So Fionnuala did have a big problem with that. She wanted a door so that you could go in one side and out the other. Yeah,
practically we decided in the end to put a hatch in it.
I mean, there is something theatrical about it. And the kids love it. A bit like Punch and Judy.
Is the hatch normally opened or is it closed, you know, for a little bit of privacy?
Well, I always open them and Donal always closes them.
I try and put it back the way I designed it, and Fionnuala keeps them open the way she thought of it.
Well, that's a good point. Did both of you compromise in the design in any shape or form?
There weren't that many compromises in terms of the design.
There was a few compromises, but no, in general, you know, what the design Donal came up with, I loved it from the start.
So Donal, you said that this is a 3-storey house, so what's up at this level?
There's only one room on the first floor of the house, and that's a bathroom. This room is made virtually entirely out of terrazzo. The water fills up so that it's level with the window. So you get really interesting reflections between the glass, the light, and the surface of the water.
So if this is the only room in the upper floor of the house, where are the bedrooms?
The bedrooms are 2 stories down in a basement. Underneath the house is a basement. We dug out the size of maybe 2 tennis courts, and then we started building from the ground up. There's 2 bedrooms, there's 2 bathrooms, and another bedroom and a utility room. So this part of the house does an enormous amount of work.
And this is obviously where the children play, am I right?
This is,
yeah, it's the playroom.
Thank you. Shall I? Thank you very much.
So the courtyard, it allows light into the basement. During the day, light can pass down over that and into that courtyard.
So the really interesting thing here is why turn the building upside down?
By putting the bedrooms in the basement, it made the plan really efficient. So you end up with a 3-storey building on a 2-storey site.
The other question then about the basement, though, is that generally people are loath to do them because of dampness and because of water ingress. And how do you get around that? Because that's a big sticky issue here.
Well, you use modern materials, and use forms of construction that are tried and tested.
What are you most proud of in the building?
It has to be light. The quality of light is sublime, really, and it's something that you don't really understand until you make it. The advantage I have is I get to live in it, so I get to experience what the light is actually like. Like as architects, most often you make something for somebody else and they get to enjoy it, whereas here we get to enjoy it and get to understand, the complexity of it and how beautiful it is.
And that means that the building comes alive almost.
It does, yeah. The building has a life of its own.
Couldn't agree more.